Hello, everyone. So I am Jessica Fern, and I am here with David Cooley. Hi, David.
Hello.
So, everyone watching this, I am wanting to introduce you to David Cooley's work in Restorative Relationship Conversations. So, I will give you the mic in a moment, Dave, but I want to share with everyone sort of why. Right. And so, I work a lot with partners, multiple partners, couples, and even though there might be many different reasons people are coming, right, for support, usually there's sort of a general sense of they're coming with struggles, they're coming with obstacles in the present, and they're wanting a better, more preferred future for themselves, right? They're wanting some version of more ease, less fighting, more connection, more intimacy, or how do we open up and how do we do that successfully? And so often what I find is that there's all of that work to do, and what gets in the way is there's past stuff, what I call the need for cleanup work in the relationship, where there's past pains, traumas, regrettable incidents that have happened. And sometimes they're big and sometimes they're really subtle. Like there's an incident and a partner did something and the other partner walks away with the story of I don't really matter to you, or I can't really trust you. And then that continues underground for years, right? And it accumulates evidence, right? And we have these sort of toxic narratives that make it hard to move the relationship forward to new and better places. So that cleanup work can be a lot. And so that is sort of your work is a solution. It's a version of this cleanup work that I'm really excited about and want either my current clients to utilize or people that are on my wait list and I can't get to now for you to know this is an additional amazing resource. So, David, please share with us what exactly is restorative relationship conversations?
So, thank you, first of all, Jessica. I've been following your work since the very beginning.
wait, wait,
I
we
don't know
do
if
have
you
to
want to make a caveat.
Yeah, we do have to do a full disclosure. So David and I are colleagues, but we've been in each other's lives for 20 years now. We were married for 10 years. We are currently co-parents. We are family. We are sort of partners in life together. So that's the full caveat, in addition to being colleagues. Yeah. All right. Go
All
ahead.
right. Now that that's clear.
Right.
So, yeah, we've been, in collaboration for a long time, and I'm really excited for this opportunity to potentially work with people that you're working with. And to put into context what I'm doing, this is restorative relationship conversations. It comes from the field of restorative justice, where I worked for several years as a facilitator. And so, one of the things that I was realizing in that process of working with the courts, people who are referred to the courts, trying to find a different way to resolve their conflicts instead of going through the traditional um, process of going through the police, then having charges on their record, and then having to go through courts in very long, drawn out, painful processes. They were referred to us. We are a nonprofit organization that were offering people a chance to sit down with the people that they've harmed in some way and talk about what happened, and then find an agreement to that process. What was a way to move forward in the relationship. And so it was fascinating because the overwhelming majority of people that came through our doors were families. And so while there were incidences where strangers were brought to us, the majority were families. And it was fascinating to see how all of these problems came down to the issue of communication and people not knowing how to sit down with each other and skillfully navigate a situation where someone's been harmed, how to talk about that, acknowledge it from both sides. What was that like to harm someone? What was going on for that individual who was harming? And what was it like for the person being harmed? And then figuring out together what's an agreement, what does everyone need to move forward to heal that harm and then restore that relationship or those relationships. So it's powerful. Just time and time again, I got to see firsthand how transformative it could be to sit down in the same space and watch a conversation change people's lives for the better. So I'm excited to bring this model now to intimate relationships, to partners, to individuals who've experienced hurt, whether it be something quote unquote small or something huge, right? That's all relative to the experience of individuals. But to have that opportunity to sit down with someone facilitating the process so that everyone feels safe, heard, and respected, to then figure out what do we need? What do we need to heal the harm that's happened, acknowledge it, and move forward in the relationship.
Yeah, I think that move forward piece is huge because a lot of people they process and process the same pain or hurt or incident again, and then they can't move forward. And I think that's the key thing that is necessary. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell people what exactly what are we talking about here? 20 sessions, one session, right? What does it look like to reach out to you and sort of start this process?
So after reaching out to me via email, what we'll do is have everyone participate in a 1 hour conversation. And that's a chance for me to explain the protocol. What does this process look like from start to finish? Exactly. What are the rules of engagement? What are the ways that we're going to talk to each other so that everyone does feel safe and heard and respected? There's also a chance to get to know each other. And then also for me to hear, why are people coming to me? What are the hurts? What are the past incidences that are bringing people to me? So I want to hear that story from everyone that's involved. And then we set up another time to do a 2 hour session where we actually work on the issue, where everyone gets a chance to talk. How have they been affected? What's this been like? What's been the impact on them, on the relationship? And then what do people need to move forward? In most cases, that 2 hour session is enough. If it's a really complex situation, if there's multiple people involved, if there's more things to work through, different issues, sometimes there are other sessions. But sort of the initial process is that 1 hour conversation and then that 2 hour process that then follows.
Great. And I assume that 2 hour process is more like focusing on one incident. And many couples have many incidents, or many ruptures. So if they wanted to say, yeah, we have like 5 or 6 things that have happened, can we just go through one incident at a time with you? Is that something that you do?
Absolutely. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to work with people as much as they feel like the process is needed for them. Sometimes people move quickly through one issue. If there's another one and we have that first session and we have time, we can jump right into it. But the point is to really hit each incident by incident, and give it its space, give it what it needs so that people feel resolved or transformed, and reconnected and restored in the intimacy of the relationship.
That's great.
Hmm.
The one thing I know that people potentially watching this, or my clients would wonder, because I have a full spectrum of clients, people who identify as cisgendered, non-binary, queer, straight, non-monogamous, monogamous, trans, all of it. So for my clients that are not sort of in the majority, what could you just say for them to know that they could come to you and it would you'd be experienced, right, with them?
Absolutely. So in the organization that I was working for, diversity training, cultural sensitivity training was a huge part of the ethos of that organization. And so not only did I participate in workshops and trainings, but also led those as well. And so for me, I'm well versed in the gamut of possibilities in terms of family arrangements, relationship arrangements. You and I have had an unconventional relationship for many years. And so for me, that's not an issue. That's not a problem. I really see this work that I do as focusing on human beings and communication issues, in the context of intimate relationships. And so for me, the configuration of that relationship and how people identify in that context, doesn't have as much weight for me as just the dynamics of how people communicate. Are people getting their
Mhm.
needs met? Are people able to say what they need to without harming the other people involved? That's really what it comes down to for me.
Great. And you're also bilingual. So do you offer this in English and Spanish?
I do, and that's one of the roles that I played again in the organization I worked for before is, doing facilitating process, this kind of process in Spanish. So when it's necessary, happy to do it.
That's great.
Hmm.
Anything else you'd like to share about restorative relationship conversations?
I think the only thing is just gratitude for the work that you're doing. The book's just been such a tremendous success in terms of the positive impact that it's had on so many people's lives. The work around attachment is so valuable. So for me, it's just an honor to be working, collaborating with you, and to be exposed to your clientele, which I know is just a really dynamic group of people. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And this feels like an important supplement to the work that I do because in attachment, there are ruptures. They're inevitable, is what I say, but how we repair is what matters. So this is all about that repair process. So thank you, Dave. And for all of you watching, please take advantage of this amazing resource. If you're my current client or if you're on my wait list or you're just someone watching this, I really can't recommend Dave and his work any higherly anymore.
Awesome. Well, thank
Right.
you, Jessica.
Yes. Thank
All
you,
right.
Dave.
Be well. Bye bye.